Hello everyone. I decided, you know what, I'm going to make a little update video on what's going on in my garden. It's starting to rain a little bit, but it's not coming down too hard, so it's time for a little video. So, try to make this a little quicker, as I don't tend to edit before putting up. I think I've only got one video on YouTube right now, maybe two. But yeah, this here, what we're looking at, is my U-shaped garden. You can see on this side of the U is where I've just done chop and drop. You know, you can see some of the leftover asparagus growing there. Well, it's not really growing this time of year, but they could be chopped off. But I'm sure all the nutrients have gone back to the main part of the plant. Over here, you can see that I've chopped and dropped, but I've also added some finished compost. Actually, not all of it's totally finished. You can still see there's lots here, but the worms, they'll be eating that further down. But yeah, it gives the garden a nice nutritious boost. And then the plan is to cap the whole thing in a lot of fall leaves that I've collected. And you'll see in a little bit, give you a sneak peek, a mountain over there of leaf bags. So you can see my arch trellis. You've seen a couple different, let's see, I got 3, maybe 4 spots I've got asparagus. You can see that they're withered away to pretty much nothing. But hoping next year we get a little bit more. I've also got, what was that? Rhubarb growing in the corner. So it's died right back, but it's come back each year for the last 3 years, I believe, maybe 4, and it comes back bigger each year, so it really provides a lot. I really like adding more and more perennials to the garden that just, they're so much easier, and it seems like just the work's done up front, and it's good for the soil health too. I've also got comfrey in here. I've been trying to get it to migrate out of the garden beds, just because I end up chopping and dropping. I've moved it to a few different spots in the yard. This is the Bocking 14 variety, so it only spreads by root division, which is nice that the seeds, they don't just self-seed. Some people, if I had a huge chunk of property, which would be great, I'd probably just get regular comfrey and just let it spread kind of wild. It's great for bringing a lot of nutrients up from deeper in the soil to the surface. Let's see, got wood chips in the garden bed with the raspberries, you can see, and then wood chips for my garden paths. And I mostly just keep the wood chips for the garden paths nowadays. I have done it in the garden beds before. This garden bed up front here, I had wood chips many years ago. You can't hardly find anything remaining of it anymore, because I've been just using leaves the last few years, and I did hay a couple years ago. Let's see, I'll move along, keep this video a little bit shorter than my other ones. A lot of strawberries, and this garden bed, you can see lots of strawberries. I haven't done too much for chopping and dropping yet. Got a lot of exposed soil in this garden bed, which is very rare, but we had Jerusalem artichokes growing, and digging them up, kind of digging through the soil, trying to get rid of them actually, but I know that most likely I've probably missed some and they'll still be shooting up next year. So, but anyways, I'm gonna cover this up with compost and a whole bunch of leaves. Speaking of leaves, oh, here's one of my plum trees that desperately needs to be planted. We'll get to that later. Yes, lots of leaf bags I've been collecting. Going to use those for mostly for topping up the garden, but also for composting too, because I do have a compost pile, and it's a great free resource. And I always seem to be expanding my garden a little bit. You can see a laneway here. So my property line, I've been told that laneways, the property goes right to the edge of the laneway. So anyways, I decided, I didn't take a picture before, but I threw down some cardboard in some of this area and also some bigger sticks at the bottom. And then I stripped the thinner branches and leaves, put them down first, and then I had some other garden material I put down, and then I've started to put leaves down. And I thought, hey, I'll film this. So I know that by the spring this won't be fully broken down by any means, but it will at least be on its way. And depending how much it's broken down, I might plant some sunflowers in here. Just give our yard a little bit more privacy from the laneway looking in. Plus I like sunflowers too, who doesn't? And maybe even try growing a few more other plants in there as well, get some more variety. We had some other flowers that are perennial that I have growing in this garden on this other side of the fence too. Just can't remember the name of them right now. I'm sure it'll come to me later. Let's see. So this garden bed I started a couple years ago. The wooden log sides. I really like doing that. All of this wood. I know this yard looks quite a mess right now, which, hey, I'm not going to deny it. It is a bit of a mess, but I do have a plan with it all. There's a method to the madness. Going to use that wood mostly probably for firewood, for campfires and that kind of thing. Got a bit of a pile there, so that's not really garden related. But this here is my persimmon tree that I had growing in a blue one of those containers similar to that one. Wasn't too happy for the last couple of years, so I planted it last year in this garden bed. Tried to mound up the soil as much as I could, and you can see it actually should have a little more soil covering its roots there. So I'll be careful not to mound up too much around it. Don't want to do like the volcano style, which, you know, I was guilty of doing with some trees earlier on in my gardening venture. So anyways, I already thrown some leftover beans in there. I'm gonna put some compost, and basically all the garden beds are gonna get the same sort of treatment. Compost to give a good boost, and then leaves that are going to break down, but they break down slowly over the winter, and by the time spring comes around, the stuff on the surface, there still looks like there's leaves, but actually probably at least half of them break down over the winter. But protects the soil, and just leaves are a great resource. All of these were collected from people setting out their bags. The one house I took all 15 of their bags, so that's a good chunk of the bags here, but I already had some before, so I'm gonna guess it's probably at least 25, maybe 30 bags, and I've already just briefly started using some out there. I think out there I had one box in a bag. And let's see, maybe I'll do the greenhouses another tour another day. Actually, you know what? I'll show you, because it's not all, hey, glorious. My greenhouse blew apart. It just had plastic that wasn't really meant for a greenhouse. It's just house siding plastic. So just a note to anyone doing a greenhouse, try to get the right UV rated plastic. I bought this greenhouse off a friend for rather cheap. It's just a small 6x9 greenhouse. I bought it 2 summers ago. So my first summer, it was kind of midsummer I got it. So I had some hay bales that were left out all winter, and I made an L-shaped bed in here. So you can't see any remnants of the hay bales, because after that first year they broke down so much, and I broke them down, put wood around them, some wood logs and that one piece of wood there. And then I covered it in compost, and this last summer it actually worked much better, because I'm sure if I dig through, which maybe I'll do a quick, yeah, you can see there's no sign of the hay. Oops, I'm not even aiming where I'm digging, but you can see it's quite nice soil. No sign of hay. You can see a little bit of fungal activity. I know kale doesn't really make use of the fungal network, but that kale's doing okay in there. A little bit of kale there that's doing okay. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have time to do any winter gardening. I live right beside a busy road, so it's a little loud. Oh, these garbage cans, they're not just here for no reason. I filled them up with weeds, and then some water, so they've been soaking. This one is has been in there longer. You can see some of the liquid. Anyways, it's a good fertilizer to use. I don't do too much with that, but there's some weeds that are a little bit annoying that grow kind of on the perimeter of my yard. Bindroot stuff, and I don't really want to throw it right in my compost just in case it spreads through there. So I figure let it sit 6 months or so soaking, and then by the time it's soaking for at least 6 months or so, then I'll throw it in the compost, and I also get some nice fertilizer to give everything a little boost when it needs it. But yeah, that's kind of it for my backyard, and I'll just talk to you guys later.